Hello, everybody. This is Mark Kaczynski, and today, I can't. It's inbred in me.
That's gonna be there now at the beginning. So I hope you realize you're gonna have to listen to that every time you start the recording.
Shit. No.
Here we go again.
God. No, should. Okay, so just for future reference, tell the people who you are. Okay, good. Moving
What?
on.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't know. If this book actually gets published and gets big, people are going to want to listen to this. I don't know. It's not going to get big. I already know it. It's just going to be like a book. It's going to be like one of those books people talk about, but it's like, if we put enough effort into it, fuck it. If we put effort into this thing,
Look, if this flops, right? You don't get one book for a lifetime. You can write more. You can write literally as many as you physically can. And mentally can. And emotionally can. They don't even have to be booked. You can write like essays or short stories too. So, yeah.
we need to play this like a TV interview. I don't know. Okay, whatever. 2013, James Ravenson is born.
Okay, hold on.
That? Sorry, did I cut out?
Nope, I got that. James Ravenson is born. 2013. All right. 2014. What happens? He turns 1 year old.
He turns 1 year old. James Ravenson is 1 year old. No, so at least for this is being recorded on the 3rd of June in the year 2019. Sorry, so I'm just saying that, like,
with extremely primitive technology.
Bro, people could be listening to this on their iPhone 57s. Like, that's all I'm saying. The iPhone 3X.
Discord has now become just a hologram you project from your eyepiece. Where we're literally you're sitting right next to me and we're talking.
That's what's terrifying? That a computer AI in the future literally it does VR so well that we're literally like sitting at a table with like the guy listening or the gal listening next to us, and we're just having a conversation, and the computer's just like I'm moving my hands right now. And what's terrifying is that the computer that's making the VR simulation of the two of us talking is like animating that. So like the person listening to this in the future is just literally sitting at the table with us. And the simulation might even be so good that the person can stop and ask us questions. Mm-hmm. Terrifying. None of this exists at this time, by the way.
All right, Mark. 2014.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just 1 year old. There's nothing, so we don't need to write that down. Nothing happens to him.
All right, turns 1. All right, Mark, 2015. He turns 2.
He turns 2. Right. It's also this literally like we got to get to like 24 something. 24.
Should we skip ahead a few years?
Yeah. So the big one is 20. So I'm going with the NASA timeline. So basically the most optimistic timeline. 2024.
Okay.
He's 11. He sees the moon landings, the Artemis missions. We're just assuming they happen in 2024, even though I think they're gonna be pushed back to 2026.
Probably honest, but so what happens to these missions?
Oh, it's just the artist. It's just the moon missions. He just watches them on TV or whatever online, and he just like is inspired to go into aerospace.
Pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm. It's
all
basically
right.
my little comment about how important big overzealous projects are to the future of the human race that have no immediate economic benefit in the next quarter, but have immediate economic benefit in the next generation.
Yeah. All right. 2020 what? 20.
So let's see. When is he? So he does all the normal stuff. He would get his. So he go. It doesn't. These are details that don't matter. Like he gets a doctorate. Basically, he goes to school for a PhD. Whatever. He just in aerospace engineering and all that shit. 2027. Not 2027.
He's like what? 14 when he gets his doctorate in aerospace engineering.
I meant that He is 27 because I'm thinking us will be 27 2027. He's going to be 27 in 2040. 2040. So like it's also like sorry. So during just say 30s missions to Mars during his career. It's like world background. Basically, old James is going to say during the 2030s is like while I was in high school, like the Mars missions were going on, and like he's basically being brought up like if you want a guy to go into aerospace, like to be inspired to go into aerospace engineering, you have him be born in the 2030s.
Epic.
I mean, be born now, but like be going to school during the Mars missions and shit.
Yeah.
And then 2040, he'd be. I'm going based off when because I'm going off school. You graduate at 18, and then a bachelor's is 4 years, so 22, and then another 4 years or 5 years for a PhD. Yeah, like let's go 5 years, 27, especially for field research and shit. Just to play it safe, and also 2040 is a nice round number.
2040.
It's literally like double 1020. It's 4 times 510. It's 8 times 255.
Graduate with a doctorate in aerospace engineering.
It's 40 times 26. What?
Epic.
Is it?
Epic.
Whatever. Right.
Okay. What's the next big event in Mr. James R's lifetime?
Becoming an astronaut. So at this point, so let's talk about this. So we've got 2014. So we got 2013, 2014. That's already 27 years. So,
Maybe like 2053. 13 years later.
When he's 40. I mean, he could be an astronaut when he's 30 in 2043.
Oh, okay.
He spends a few years working in an observatory, applies to become an astronaut. Like there's a lot of like they're accepting a lot of people, but the process is still rigorous. There's a lot more people that are trying to be accepted and all that.
Yeah.
But he finally gets in. So he basically just works in an observatory. It's going to be like one of those super large observatories that isn't going to even be built till the 2030s. That's like 30 meters across or whatever. 30. There's one in Europe that's being built. It's 35 meters across. It's kind of crazy like that. He worked.
Was it not done?
Oh my god, that spelling. I'm good.
Look, it's fine. If you understand what the word means, I have done my job.
What is this, Chinese? I don't even know. What are spelling mistakes in Chinese? Just you get that little flick a tiny bit off, and you have to restructure the whole sentence.
You gotta just delete the page.
Oof, okay, now so
what else happens in 2043?
Now he just becomes an astronaut. Astronaut training, I would say, takes 2 years for. I think it takes something like at least his astronaut training because it's like surviving Mars and crap. Like it would take. That's in the. Only I heard that. Good. Okay.
Yep. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's just a Discord pop up. I got my girl chatting me up. My girl.
Your grill. Is it Alexis?
Yeah. What? No. Why would Alex's mom? I'm just kidding.
That would be so funny. I swear if that ever happens.
Okay,
that is on the equivalent. I think that's on the equivalent of you musically farting Megalovania. If you do that with Alex's mom, I will literally just do anything, like literally whatever you want. Like literally like.
Jeez, we are too fucking tired for this. I already got you sucking my dick. Anyway.
Yes.
Dabs? Oh, Dabs. I was confused.
All right. What's happens in 2045?
He goes to the space. He goes to the Mars. So I'm assuming the first Mars missions are in 2030, and there's like a It's kind of like the International Space Station. There's an International Mars base that has like a crew of like, I imagine like a dozen people, no more at this time. And the moon's got like almost like a colony. Like the moon has like like 3 dozen, which is like just ridiculous, right? I can imagine that because it's only 4 days away.
Yeah.
But Mars is still like those dozen people, like those people that stay there for freaking years. Like it's just crazy. Like they come back and they have to like if you do a Mars mission, like you know that you're coming back atrophied.
Yeah. You're coming back sick.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I can imagine. So I want him to be the first. Like the thing about because of course he is right. Like why not James Ravenson?
Mm-hmm.
So just some world stuff. I imagine in the real world, like a lot by this time, a lot of diseases have been cured. Like I can imagine like HIV just being gone.
Hopefully, the number one killer in all those countries isn't coronary artery, just heart disease.
I can't believe it was coronary. What was it?
Heart disease.
Yeah.
It's just heart. It's essentially just heart disease.
Number one killer in like 90% of the countries on Earth.
The number one killer of humans. Yeah.
Well, that's malaria, but that's all time.
Oh yeah. Well, like as of right now.
I swear it's McDonald's.
Literally, it literally is.
That's why I never eat there. Shit. Okay, I don't know. So the thing is, it's gotta like be somewhat of a like this is kind of important because I imagine him meeting his wife on Mars, and we'll discuss that later in this video. But his wife is very important to like this mentality. Like he's gonna meet his wife on Mars, so I imagine him. He does like 2 tours on. Let's say this. He does. It's like I don't believe that that's even a window for going up. It wouldn't even matter at this point because you're using those fusion engines.
Oh, they have fusion?
Even if I want to say we have fusion in the way that we had nuclear fission in the 50s. Like the first fusion power plants are being built.
So we've like essentially figured it out. What year do you think that happens?
I'm gonna go with the first fusion power plant being fully operational in 2060.
Oh, so not during this time when he's going to Mars, but
No. So like the Mars colony is powered by nuclear fission and solar panels.
Okay.
And just a combination of the two. I was about to say geothermal energy Mars has almost done. Like literally almost done. I imagine like they might even have I don't know, it's the 2040s. It's too simple. Like
we could just power Mars with potatoes.
Okay, you know what? if you want to science the shit out of this, then honestly, yeah.
We ran out of ketchup.
When you run out of ketchup, so you use use a painkiller as a sauce.
Life is good.
I love how he just straight up cut a pill in half and probably just crushed it with like I don't even know what, a hammer.
Just a potato.
Crushed Vicodin. That's what it was. Crushed Vicodin.
Vicodin?
Vicodin's a painkiller, I'm pretty sure.
I don't even know. I have no idea.
I always called it crust Vicodin when I was younger. I don't know why.
What is crust Vicodin?
Yeah, it's just crushed Vicodin. And Vicodin's a different story.
The sound of you yawning makes me yawn.
Human nature.
Ready?
For what? Damn, that's weird. It must be must be an auditory thing as well. Have they done a study? Have they done a study on that where like they see if people like obviously we know that people yawn when other people yawn, but like is it like can it be an auditory like how many people will yawn if they hear somebody yawn, like actually yawn? And how many people will yawn if they just see it but don't hear anything? And how many people will yawn if both? That's our control.
I think it's mostly a seeing thing because I've seen people yawn across the room. I'd not heard them, but yawned myself.
Okay. Anecdotal evidence, though, but okay.
Yeah.
That's good. We're not dealing with that shit right now. All right, so
So anyway.
but whatever. Whenever the actual launch date is, so 2045 he's done with his training. Then whenever this is where the timeline gets fuzzy for because it has to because I don't want to go. But at the same time, it's my first book, so I should probably go into. I mean, it doesn't need it. It'd be nice. I mean, it's always fuzzy. We don't even know when he's born. We could say he's born on, I don't know, November 27th or some shit, but it's always fuzzy down there. Ugh.
No.
Okay, so basically, so let's
Monkey.
figure it out. Oh, okay, so let's figure it out. So year by year, 2020. Sorry, this is how I imagine. 2024, the Artemis missions start. They're done by the 2030s. But I'm imagining that basically NASA, its budget remains at that increased level, and the missions kind of just go from there. And like it keeps up with inflation and shit. And basically, I remember them talking about like the end goal of the Artemis project. Like one of the end goals is to like construct a base that can like function much like the ISS. Like you have just crews visit there and maintain it and do science experiments.
On the moon?
Yeah. So I imagine that happens, and then eventually, like I imagine by the 2040s, the moon has a greenhouse, and probably is like serving its first like expensive ass tourists. Like
Oh
first like
gosh. Like
multi like
billionaires, yeah.
billionaires are visiting the moon surface, millionaires are flying around it, and people like us are paying $200,000 to go to do the suborbital hops, or even maybe even go into orbit. I'm sure SpaceX will probably have like
A space elevator or something?
not a space elevator, not by 2030, but like you could pay for a ticket, like a $1 million ticket to go on a Falcon 9 in a Crew Dragon to like just be in orbit. It's like 10 orbits or something. You stay up there for a day.
Send the flat earthers.
Send the flat earthers, yeah. Imagine sport. I imagine SpaceX could, as soon as I mean, I don't see why not. As long as they finally fix the thruster issue with you saw the video, didn't you?
What video?
Where the Dragon capsule that returned from the International Space Station exploded.
Maybe. Oof.
It's the one, yeah. But it exploded because they tested the emergency thrusters, the thrusters that are designed to like go off if like something's wrong with the rocket,
Uh-huh.
and instead the Falcon, the Crew Dragon exploded. But
Jeez.
it was because so they're going back to the drawing board. It's going to push them back a year. But I imagine once that's all kinked out and they're sending missions to the ISS. So this is how it's actually like this is how I imagined it. So first, Crew Dragon missions to the ISS in 2020. Basically the same for the Boeing Starliner is catching up, so probably the same time. Um, I imagine China gets in the game by the 2030s. They claim to be like I remember them talking about landing a man on the moon by 2018. That like 10 years ago, that didn't happen. They have I imagine China continues their space station programs like the Jingzhou or the Shangzhou, whatever. It was like floating star or whatever. And
Chinese.
yeah, because the Chinese aren't allowed on the International Space Station.
Oof, really? I actually didn't know that. Alright, let's go. That's a timestamp right there.
I apologize. What the heck? Excuse me? I didn't realize there was a third party in the conversation.
That was like audibly visual. Like you could see the sound go up.
Are you-
I'm gonna. Oh, you have no idea what I could do with this mark.
I don't know. So
So anyway, moving on.
yeah, don't be afraid to jump in at any time. By the way,
Okay.
I don't want to be. The thing that killed George Lucas is that he was a yes man.
What? You're a yes
The
man?
thing, yeah. So basically, he had. So the thing, what it mean.
Sorry, go on.
uh, I continue. No, so the problem with the Phantom Menace is that basically had too many people just walking around and being like, yeah, and that's all they did.
Oh, I see.
It's like we should have this alien that talks like this and kills democracy for the entire galaxy. But no, it's a great idea. Whatever, George Lucas. I'm sorry, I've got to talk to my investors. I got a real estate agent. But I don't know how rich people talk.
Yeah. Sorry, I gotta go get my limo pool yacht combination with gold-plated out from my house from my Amazon order.
Ugh. My Tasmanian devil's acting up again. I've got to call the ranger.
I gotta pay a bunch of lobbyists in government to make sure they keep the taxes down.
They probably factor that into like secret accounting.
Yeah, probably. I
Secret
gotta go
accounting.
make sure people don't know how to do taxes. And then they pay
I
for
gotta.
TurboTax.
Does TurboTax like lobby the government to make taxing more insane?
I've heard they do, yeah. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've heard.
That's hilarious. No, so I imagine by like, I don't even know what rocket fuel they use. Maybe they would use.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm alive. I made it. I survived.
I don't know what's going on. What the hell?
You have no idea how much that is gonna be replayed.
Send it in the group chat. Like what?
Just clip that little bit. So imagine the rocket.
I don't even know what fuel they're gonna use. Maybe they'll use.
Okay. So anyway, what fuel are they gonna use besides?
No, hydrogen, probably just hydrogen.
Yeah, okay, we'll keep it simple, I guess.
Ooh, here's an idea. Solid hydrogen. When does solid hydrogen become a thing?
Is that even like? Would it take more? Would it take like more fuel to like keep it solid?
So that's the idea. Is not keeping it cold enough because it has to be like 2 Kelvin, basically.
Oof. I think even like the temperature of like what the galaxy right now is like 2.7. Like just space is like 2.7, isn't it, or something?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Hydrogen is gas most everywhere in the universe. It's weird to think
I
about.
think it literally can't be solid without like it artificially being done.
Oh god. Sorry. I just clicked Google Chrome on my desktop. It's gonna be bright, but there we go. Oh my goodness, why is it so slow? Negative 434.5 Fahrenheit. Thanks. That helps me so much.
Thanks.
Oh, it's 14 Kelvin.
Is it
So it's
that's solid hydrogen?
Yeah, so you got to get it below 14 Kelvin for solid hydrogen.
Yeah, okay.
So it's
So you could just have that like out in space somehow, maybe. Well, no, probably not, because whatever it's connected to is probably going to be giving more heat to it than it would need to be. Honestly, just gas, like gas hydrogen. Probably
we
the
need to remake.
easiest.
We need to make a new scale where the zero is still like zero, but like it's based off of like the vibrations of hydrogen, like the amount of energy in hydrogen per atom.
Or like, huh?
Where it's like the melting point of hydrogen might be like 10 or something.
The melting point of hydrogen is literally 10 degrees, like 10 Kelvin. Jeez. Like, come on.
Jesus. Yeah,
Um.
doing this. Hmm?
Okay. Um. Well. I just hit like a mental like wall. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Shutting down.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta talk to Nick tomorrow.
Yeah, we should probably go
Yeah, I gotta get up early. Well, not
to
like that early,
whatever.
but like.
Early. Yeah, we'll talk about save that recording,
Oh
upload
yeah.
it,
Oh yeah. It's being saved.
and then we'll have a part two
All
where we
right.
talk about the next section. We'll talk about James after he meets his wife, up until James decides to um after his wife dies, how James decides to deal with that fact, and how he moves on, and how he literally rebuilds himself.
Okay. I will stop the recording in 3, 2,